birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Suzanne.
And Lillian.
Happy birthday to us.
Yay, thank you. Today is Lillian's birthday and she chose to share her morning with us. So.
Oh, good.
So
My
happy.
favorite, my favorite.
Here's how you like to party, huh, girl?
Okay. So what I knew about ramen noodles when we first started was boil 2 cups of water, put in a package after the water boils, add seasoning until it's done. And then what I've seen since is some people will drain it and just eat it dry like that, and then I like to eat them as a soup. But a lot more people are starting to just take an egg and crack it in there and stir it up just when it's done. And so what it does is it makes like an egg drop soup, but you're actually adding protein to your ramen. So, you know, when you think about ramen noodles and you're a dietitian or nutritionist or any of those things, you think, you should just strike that off your list because it has so much sodium and all that. But what it really is it's like not a positive food. It's just doesn't do your body lots of good. You know, it's not like you're gonna become strong and healthy if you eat a steady diet of ramen noodles. But on the other hand, I think having a case of ramen noodles is a great thing to have around because emergencies happen. People come, and you don't have to just cook them a bowl of ramen noodles. Today I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do. And the stir fry you've probably seen me do before, but this is the easiest thing that you can cook in an emergency for guests that just drop in, because just buy some frozen vegetables and keep them in your freezer. These are Costco's Asian stir fry mix. And then ramen noodles, just cook them like a couple of minutes, and then I put them in a colander. I cook them with a couple of packages of seasoning, and then I rinse it with cold water in a colander, and then some kind of mix.
Suzanne, how many packets of cook do you have there?
So this has four packages. 4 packages. So depending on who you're feeding, if you're feeding my family, you have to plan on 1 package per person. But I've noticed that when I feed other people, you can feed 2 per package. So I would say one package will feed 1 or 2. And it depends on if you have a lot of vegetables, a lot of meat, or just a few vegetables and a few meat. And then some ramen noodle packets. This one is called a ramen crunch, and it's towards the end of your recipe, but it's ramen noodles, pretzels, craisins, and peanuts, salted peanuts. And so the recipe just calls for brown sugar and butter and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon that you put in the microwave and heat up for just a couple of minutes, and then you just add your crushed ramens in there, and you stir it up and let it coat all of your ramens, and then you just put it together. So I thought, well, we gotta have something sweet because you're going like, what am I gonna do? It's called Asian, is it Asian crunch or something?
Well, I can't tell it online very good because but
Yeah.
It's on the back of the, yeah, Marcia, you wanna hold it up?
So this page,
It's that page. I'm sorry it's so tiny, but
and what do you call it, Asian noodle crunch?
yeah, or Asian something.
Asian
When I put it on my, on the Facebook page, I'll do a whole page, and it'll be a lot bigger. Cause it's hard to make a whole bunch of copies. So, we've got stir fry, we've got our little sweet goody stuff. Then I have a chicken tortilla wrap with ramen noodles. So that should be interesting.
interesting.
And then a broccoli slaw. So,
There's not any more recipes. I'll
Okay,
have to
you're
make
good.
some at the end of class.
All right, that's fine.
And she'll post them on the Facebook page too.
Okay, perfect.
how are you?
I'm good, sorry.
That's fine. I'm glad you're here. So last month, we had Sheila Griffiths come and show us how to eat whole plants. And so as many of us do when we come to this class, we see something cool and then we have to buy the gadget. Well, I went and bought a shredder. And I'm glad I did because I went to Winco to buy broccoli slaw and they had none. So I just bought broccoli crowns and mixed it with a package of coleslaw. And I'm going to put it together. I ran the broccoli through that little shredder thing.
And look how wonderful it looks.
Yeah, it's wonderful and I think it'd be good either way with just coleslaw or broccoli slaw. I tasted the broccoli and the coleslaw together and I love the broccoli. I think that that's just a wonderful flavor. So then all you do is you add half the noodles, but this is a double batch, so half a package of, I'm doing a big batch, so I'm using a whole package of crushed ramen and a small red onion chopped up finely. It's my favorite part of the salad.
And this is called the stir fry?
This one's a
The broccoli slaw right on the front.
Okay, thank you.
And then lovely bacon. I mean,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, once you put bacon in, it's good, of course.
Yeah.
And-
It's illegal.
No, no, it's totally legal for all the work you put into cooking. You should have something good.
Well, let me get your.
And then, well, thank you. Then I mixed up
Oh, it smells good already.
the dressing, the low-fat mayonnaise with apple cider vinegar and sugar and black pepper. You guys should be so glad that I got up early and just prepared everything.
Whisked around the kitchen.
Because I would have just been going, now what do I do? Do you ever have those days where you just kind of wander around?
Oh, yes.
I'm there. This weekend I'm there. So it's like, what am I gonna do tomorrow? If I have to teach a class, this is gonna be embarrassing. So we have sunflower seeds, and what really makes it good is you toast it. You buy it like this and then you toast it in a frying pan. You don't have to put any oil or anything in it. Just toast your, I measure like everybody else measures. I don't measure. And I think this would be good, but I might just leave it on the side. It doesn't call for craisins.
Well, I'll ask her in a minute. Do you want a bigger bowl to mix that in?
Nope, this is it.
Okay. Okay.
So I think it'd really be delicious if we just poured all of those craisins in. Anybody hate craisins? Broccoli slaw. Should I put the craisins in?
Yeah.
Well, how much do we say?
I would say half a cup in that recipe.
And they're on sale this month out of Costco.
Yep, I just bought these at Costco's. I probably
You
should.
toasted the sunflower seeds in the
Yeah.
oven?
Nope, I just stuck them in a frying pan. And I probably should have made more dressing, but I didn't, so imagine it more creamy.
Well, as it sits there, it'll get creamier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you know, I used a lot of broccoli and coleslaw. And
Yeah.
I told you how I measure.
The one that we keep putting the keep five.
So I'm just gonna stir the top of it. So I won't stir underneath so that it has plenty of dressing. Any questions so far? So far looks pretty simple, huh? So normally you can just buy broccoli slaw in the grocery store. So I think that what they use broccoli, how they make broccoli slaw is when they sell the broccoli crowns, they just cut off all those stems and then make that into broccoli slaw.
Interesting.
And I prefer the stem to the flour. And if you're going to eat it raw or cook it, just peel off the bark on the outside. And it's just so wonderful in your stir fries or whatever. I think the stem is the best because it's crunchy. Then we have a recipe that's called a tortilla. Can you stick this in the microwave for 1 minute? There, just a little more than a minute. So the tortilla wrap, I took the ramen noodles and I cooked it. Cooked the ramen noodles, but I didn't discard the water. Right? So then you add 2 tablespoons of peanut butter in with the water and you stir it up. And then you should put the chicken and the coleslaw into that mixture so it's all wet. But I didn't want my noodles to be all wet. Everything to soak up before you got here. So what I'm having her do is just heat up the noodles so that it's warm and it's got a little liquid to it. Then I'm going to just add this chicken and this coleslaw, and then we're just going to mix it up, and then you just put it in a tortilla wrap. There are 10 wraps, so we'll just make them and cut them up as we go. Does that sound very hard?
No, it sounds good though.
I know, I'm just amazed. I actually should have brought the book. I used a book that says that's everything ramen, and that's where the majority of the recipes came from. And as I was telling the ones that were here earlier, I'm going to put several more recipes from that book on the demo page, so you can just try any of it.
So Suzanne, where did you get your book?
Amazon. I'll put a copy of that on the demo page. I should have brought it, but I didn't think about it. Okay, so.
Suzanne, just
Huh?
heads up, if you make this mixture on the class that I'm gonna teach in 2 days, you could keep that mixture in the fridge and just use it as you wanted to instead of doing them all together at once.
I think
For 2
so.
people.
I
That
think
would
so.
work. So this would be a really good for 2.
So what I did was I actually put this in a colander and let it drain so that it would not absorb and turn into a big gob of ramen noodles.
2 packages?
This was 2 packages. So everything, I always put more when I teach the class. And 1 recipe usually feeds just me. I hope that's not true, but it's kind of true. And then my favorite is Costco's roast chicken. I used the bones last night to make wonton soup for my family. My nephew from Denver came with his daughter, and so we had a good time. So you're actually adding chicken to peanut butter, right? There's peanut butter.
So you use 2 packages of noodles, 4 teaspoons of peanut butter.
Tablespoons.
Oh, it says teaspoons here.
Well, you eat it and you decide.
I'm just saying. Okay, and then 3 cups of coleslaw mix.
Yeah.
Okay, so you added,
So you can add as much as you want. So, so this is 1 bag of coleslaw mix, and I'm not gonna use the whole thing. But I think a coleslaw mix is necessary because you want the crunch.
yeah.
This was coleslaw. Yeah, you can use broccoli. But there was no broccoli, so
So you,
I improvised.
And so when you said you kept the water, but then you drained the noodles?
I did, if I were gonna make it at home and eat it right away, I wouldn't drain the noodles, I would add the coleslaw and the chicken into the cooked ramen with the peanut butter
And the juice, and the water.
and the water, and then just pour it in the tortilla shell. But I didn't wanna cook ramen noodles while I was here, 'cause that's just like waiting for water to boil.
Yeah, I think it will.
So it just be a little runnier.
Yeah.
Smells good.
But runnier isn't bad when you're eating it in a dry tortilla shell, so.
No.
So, just compensate for your taste buds. But look how easy this one would be to fix. And I think that it would also be good with craisins.
Oh, yeah, craisins, yeah.
There we go.
I brought extra craisins, so, for this purpose. Yeah, sandwiches and things just taste really good when you have just a little bit of sweet. And plus, that gives you a little more texture, and even sunflower seeds or something like that would be good. Okay, so that's what we're gonna wrap up in our tortilla shells. So I don't want my apron to look dirty, so I'll do it underneath.
Just get the dress ready from the other side.
See?
my
Still
gosh.
looks good, though. That's what aprons are for, hide stuff. Oh, I forgot, and then you can just sprinkle some ramen noodles on top of your broccoli slaw. And in your recipes, I put a little, salad topping made out of ramens too, so I think that's good, where you just, heat up some coconut oil and, slivered almonds, and you cook it with the crushed ramen noodles, and then you can just save it, sprinkle it on your,
Bottom recipe, last page.
yeah, bottom recipe, last page. If you read the last page, I think it's just a hoot, because this would really be a good thing to send your kids to college with. Are these recipes right here, but at the very back, all you have to do is, I mean, they've got carbonara, they've got, all kinds of stuff in there. You just cook a package of noodles and add, you know what it says? And it would add some variety and some nutrition to the food. But I would not advise you to just eat ramen noodles as a steady diet, although my kids are still alive.
Yeah,
Because they ate a lot of ramen noodles growing up. Our house was a ramen noodle and a multi-meal house. So when the boys wanted to eat that, they, you know, all their friends would come over and have a bowl of cereal or ramen noodles or 5 packages or whatever. And then sometimes we had friends that had, we do have friends that had like real turkey, sliced turkey meat, real bread, you know, real mayonnaise, lettuce. So when the kids wanted to go have a real sandwich, they would go to Danny Bird's house. Everybody just ran over there and they'd have that for lunch. But sometimes they felt like Hot Pockets. And Jan Jeter, she had all the Hot Pockets. So,
well, that's nice, you switched on.
yeah, but,
So they just rotated houses in
Yeah.
the summer?
Yeah.
Wednesdays,
Yeah.
sandwiches tomorrow?
so I took a chicken thigh and I chopped it up, diced it up. This is the ramen stir fry. This is the one that I have on the back.
Oh,
And the reason I'm using that recipe is the other recipe is just like this, only instead of using the seasoning packets, you use the stir fry mix. So you could go to the grocery store and just buy that teriyaki sauce or whatever. This one, I take the meat, so if I have beef you know, like half a steak left. I'll slice that up and then I'll put a package of the beef seasoning from your ramen noodles as the marinade to your meat. So this is the chicken thigh with the chicken seasoning.
And you marinated it.
I
It
put
was
a
already
package of
marinated.
the seasoning in it and just marinated it this morning. And I'm using my handy dandy induction cooker that I can just bring. Otherwise, it's hard to teach in both areas. Yesterday I was making pot stickers and because I love this induction thing so much, I bought an induction stove. And it's also air fryer oven. It's all wonderful, but you have to have the right cooking pans. So I had nothing that was stick-free, that was iron or something that would work in an induction. So my pot stickers all stuck in my pans, and so I told my family no more pot stickers unless you can do something different.
Did you do one in the middle? Did you do one?
No, you have to do it in a pan because you fry it first and then you add a cup of water and put a lid on it. And let it steam done and then take the lid off and let the water absorb. So I'm just gonna go with for an induction ready stick through. And I love using chicken because it cooks so quickly. And most people like chicken breast, but the Caucasians like chicken thighs because it's not as dry. You have a tendency to overcook chicken breast and then it's dry. See, that's all I'm doing is cooking. So I didn't have any chicken breast at home, so luckily my daughter-in-law brought me some. I don't have a bone in it. She always goes to Bilo's when they have their sales and she buys a case of. And they have this cool Blackstone griddle that's outside on the porch and it's this big. If I was younger and, you know, still have family at home, I'd buy one of those and just have it outside. Because you could cook all of this all at once. You know, cook your noodles, cook your, and I really like my noodles grilled on a griddle or a cast iron pan. It just takes so much longer. But if you had a Blackstone, you could be grilling you cook your noodles, rinse it, let it drain, and then you put oil on your griddle, and then you put the noodles down and brown it, and then you flip it over and brown it again, so it's more like a chow mein. Costco, I can't hear it either.
Yes. I didn't keep it though, you just thought, right?
So we just came back from San Francisco just this week. We took my mom, my brother, two brothers. My mom's 92. My one brother had a liver transplant, 7 years ago. So he just calls himself Looney Tunes, you know. We just make it. And then my other brother has severe diabetes, so he can barely walk. So 92-year-old, my brother that had a liver transplant, Suzanne that has to use a cane sometimes, and my brother with neuropathy in the foot. And there we are, and then the two Caucasians, my husband and my brother's wife. And I said, this looks like you guys are tour guide for a Chinese nursing home. But it really is crazy because we were in the car for 14 hours in our van. It's an 8-passenger van, so it really wasn't too crowded or anything like that. But I had to yell so loud because nobody could hear. And everything I said, I had to repeat, and they still couldn't hear. And so, today we're lucky that I have a voice. 'Cause the other day there was no voice. I don't know why I brought that up. I guess San Francisco. This reminds me of San Francisco.
Stories make it.
I know. Well, I don't know, but you get them. So here's another chicken packet seasoning. I just added that.
One of the meat and one of the veggies.
Yeah. Or 2 or 3, you decide. So when the meat is cooked and the vegetables are in there, then you add your noodles and you just stir fry them all together. And if you're at home, you would taste it and say, oh, needs another package. Or you grill your noodles, like I was telling you, and then you put that on a plate, and then you put the vegetables with the chicken on top of it. So it's more like a chow mein. But I cooked my noodles with a seasoning packet as well. So if I cooked 4 packages, I put 2 packages of seasoning in it. Then your noodles have some flavor. So if I use beef, I would use the beef ramen. If I use pork, I would use the pork ramen. Or it doesn't really matter that much, but it makes sense to me.
Would you like a funny ramen noodle?
What?
Would you like a funny ramen noodle?
Yes, I would love it, thank you.
One year, I was taking care of a lady who had muscular dystrophy, and she just had a baby. And so, as a babysitter and a babysitter, and she had a hard time swallowing. And one of the things that she could eat, she taught me what it was. And it was ramen noodles, and just get your water going, and she liked frozen peas because they're round and they could go down a little bit easier. And so we cooked those in there, and then we drain it, add a little butter, and half of whatever ramen noodles you use. So if you had 2 packets, you only use 1 packet
Of the seasoning.
so it wasn't too strong. And if it was and then you could get a can of condensed cream of chicken soup.
Oh.
And the chicken in chunks were a little bigger way back then, so I find that I have to add some more to that. But anyway, we put that in, stir it up. If it's a little too thick, then add a little bit of milk. And I mean, within 5 to 10 minutes, you've got a wonderful chicken casserole. And my son that was in kindergarten, he'd only go out half a day, and so he'd drop off at her house, and he'd always have lunch for us. And he was so excited to be able to have frog eggs and worms. He still to this day will eat frog eggs and worms.
That's funny.
Well, I can tell you that all my grandkids eat the worms, probably every day for lunch. Because they can cook it themselves, right?
Yep.
So we just have to make sure that we teach them how to put in an egg, or put in peas, or some kind of vegetables when they're cooking it, and then it will be yummy and tasty. So how does that look? And how long did that take?
And if you don't have a wok, thing with you,
Just use your frying pan.
a big fry pan.
Yeah, you won't be cooking 4 packages of it. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I'm gonna be brave and add 1 more package. Okay. They come in with our noodles.
Oh, right with the ramen?
Yeah, right with the ramen.
Okay.
But it seems like you use more packages than you
No,
have.
you just take however many packages you have. But see, I've used 4 packages of, so I
So
would,
if you only had 1, Suzanne, would you marinate your meat in that, or would you save it for now?
I
Like if I was
marinate the
just
meat.
doing 1 batch.
I think I marinate the meat.
Marinate it before.
And then you can always add stir fry sauce.
Or onion or
Yeah, powdered garlic. Okay, simplest demonstration.
Oh,
I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, it took a whole half hour. Usually I brought my whole house and it takes an hour and a half, right? Woo. Yeah. Okay. That's ready. So I really think that we're ready to eat. I'm just gonna quick roll up some little tortillas for us. Any questions? Did you know you can do all that with the ramen noodles? I didn't either. But now I do. That's a lifesaver for me.
You think they wanna put, the treat in a little cup?
Maybe.
Ramen is not cooked, right? It's not cooked.
What? The only ramen that's not cooked are these two.
Better?
Did you learn how to?
Could you give me a serrated knife?
What?
Serrated knife. Serrated
Anything else on the tortilla, you just wrap it
Okay.
Yep, it is.
You wanna hand me another
Yeah.